What's up, guys? It's your girl Mac Cox with Maccouture Crafting, and I am so happy you guys tuned in today. So today we are going to talk about QuiltCon. This is going to be kind of an informal, impromptu video. Houston Quilts Market has been canceled. Houston Quilt Festival is still going on. However, a lot of the vendors have pulled out of the show this year, and I was all excited. You guys know I've been traveling around the country, sort of. Yeah, I don't know how far I've gone right this second. But anyway, you guys know that I've been traveling all around trying to figure out how I was going to, and trying to teach myself to vlog so that, again, super impromptu, grab yourself some tea. This is going to be a long one. And this is my tea. I'm having strawberry. What is this? This is Alice in Wonderland tea because I just came back from the parks. Can you guys see that? Alice in Wonderland tea. There it is. I'm messing up my green screen. Alice in Wonderland tea. It's strawberry. I love tea. Look at my mug. Isn't it cute? Oh, love it. This is going to be impromptu. You guys like my little saucer? Okay, so QuiltCon. Quilt Market. Sorry. Let's talk about Houston Quilt Festival. It isn't canceled. They're still going forth with it, but it's really, really small. I've been told that there are usually over 1,000 vendors, and this year there are maybe 500, if that. Again, it's just smaller, and I'm sure it's due to COVID. Texas's COVID numbers are going up, their hospitals are crowded, and something is telling me not this year. So I've canceled that trip, and I won't be going to Texas at the end of this month. I'm hoping that next year things are back to normal, that people can come internationally. I think it's going to be held in Long Beach. It'll probably be held in multiple places, the people who put this on. However, if it's in Long Beach, which it was supposed to be last year, you guys know that I'll be there because it's in my backyard. Like, why wouldn't I be there? That'll be my Super Bowl as opposed to this. I was really looking forward to it, but I just don't think, something's telling me don't go, so I'm not going to go. I canceled it. I canceled my flight, hotel, car, all that stuff. I'm like, no, we will do this another time. But QuiltCon is coming up. Let me see. QuiltCon comes up in 138 days. 138 days. It's going to be in Phoenix. And so that, I'm thinking I'll be there. It's put on by the Modern Quilt Guild. And as of right now, a lot of the classes, if not almost all the classes, are sold out, but you could still go to the event. Now, fun fact about me, I don't sew in public. I know you guys are like, but wait, you sew on YouTube? Yes, I do. I would even sew live on YouTube, but I'm not. Classes, I'm just not ready for classes yet. With the class, I feel like you need to get a great seat. You've got to have a great instructor, and you've got to have great people in the class with you. And some of that I can't control, and I'm a control freak, so I'm just like, classes, they just aren't up my alley. But I love, love, love lectures. I could watch lectures from sunup to sundown, which is what I'll be doing. I bought a lecture pass that'll allow me to go to see any lecture that they're having. So I want to walk you through QuiltCon. And fun fact, I went to QuiltCon before I ever started quilting. I took my mother one year. I just love to walk around and look at the quilts. And these are what's considered modern quilts. So let's hang out on their website together today. Let's take a look and see what they've got to offer. Let's see how many days it is. Let's just see all the things. And again, this is going to be a longer stream, so just, be prepared to hang out with me as soon as I find it. Is this it? This is it right here. Okay. So again, we're just going to walk through the site. We're going to see what's going on here. I do know one thing. When they come out with this information when it releases, you have to jump on this immediately because they sell out super quick. And the classes sell out super, super quick. And this website is not the easiest to navigate. The registration part is not super easy to navigate. So I suggest that if you plan on doing this next year or the year after, get familiar with this. Talk to some people who have registered before, because this is, again, not easy to register, and within minutes, some of the super popular classes they go super fast. But let's look at them. Let's see what they are. Let's just hang out on the site a little bit. Let's see what we got going on. So the first thing is the registration, and it has a video, and I suggest that you watch that prior to trying to register, like the day before. So the dates are February 16th through the 20th, which is funny because I totally thought it was in January. Leave it to me. Road to California for sure is in January, and I'm looking forward to going to that next year too. So it's going to be the 16th through the 20th in Phoenix, Arizona. That's nice. We're going to skip the catalog and schedule for a second. The pricing. So we've got 4-day show pass is going to be $36. A 1-day show pass is $12, and the show pass includes the entrance to the quilt show to view the show, the quilts, the special exhibits, and more. Access to the demo stage with demonstrations from sponsors and vendors to share their knowledge with you. An entrance to the vendor hall curated with modern quilter in mind and featuring show specials throughout. Okay. So individual lectures, if you just wanted to pick one, $15 for non-members, $12.75 for members. I suggest that you become a member of the Modern Quilt Guild just so that you can get to do these things faster. The registration opens up before to guild members, before it does to non-members, and that right there might be worth whatever it costs. I want to say it might be like $60 a year, something like that. I forget. Don't quote me on that. This tea is delicious. Strawberry. Oh, what is it again? Oh my goodness. You guys, I love tea. This is a strawberry with hints of maple, bits of fruits, and colorful flower petals. Delicious. Ah, love it. Got it in the parks. So good. But I guess it should be, right? It's Alice in Wonderland. Okay. Friday lecture pass, $90. Wow. Oh, it includes 8 lectures. I'm like, how did we jump up? So you could do a lecture pass for an entire day, which is kind of cool too. I didn't know you could do that. And then you have the all access lecture passes, and mine was $169 because I'm a member of the Modern Quilt Guild. Oh, they've got special events. We've got yoga workshops and the awards ceremony. Oh, something else that's strange. This year, the big show announced their winners already. I'm like, what? Again, this year, last year have been some really, really funky years, and so they're doing things differently. And apparently, they've already they've already told the people who have won. So good for them. I saw the best in show, and it's nice. I get it. So then we've got hotels, featured lecture, and exhibit. And this year, the featured lecture is none other than Latifah. Yay! I just recently did her pattern with the kicks and the fairies and the shoes. You guys saw it. I'm excited to see what she brings this year. She was also one of the founders of the Los Angeles Modern Quilt Guild and part of the Modern Quilt Guild before it ever got off the ground. And so she's been instrumental in this movement, and I'm really excited to see what she's going to say. All right, you guys want to see who the faculty is this year? Let's see. Now, remember, I am fairly new to this, so I don't know all the people and what they're good at and all the things. There's some that I know. There are some, but then there are some that I don't, at least not yet. And that's why we're doing this. We will learn. We will get to know the people and their styles. What I don't love about this page is I wish that I could click on the face and it take me to their website, but it doesn't work like that at all. So here are the faculty. Okay, I'm familiar with Tara Fawnin. Oh, Mary Fawn, certainly know who that is. I know who this is. This is Joanna Marsh. Super excited about seeing her, meeting her in person. She is just the most dreamy, lovely person. We met on Instagram and we chat quite a bit. I also know who Sarah Ruiz is. Oh my goodness. If you're looking for a 100-day project and how to nail it, Sarah would be the one to talk to. And then some more. We've got Latifa. Latifa's teaching a class. Tell me who you guys see, who your favorites are. Sarah Trail, I want to say she does the cultural activism quilts, I think. I could be wrong. I know who Kitty Wilkin is. I might have even done some of her stuff. Okay, but these are the faculty. We've got some heavy hitters here. I know it. I don't necessarily know exactly who they are, but they bring out the big guns for QuiltCon. So, okay, so that's the faculty. Cool. The quilt show details. Let's see what they're talking about here. Oh, okay. So we've got the quilt show and how to enter. So the entries open September 1st and they close October 31st. So if you want to get a quilt in, you certainly have time to do so, especially if your quilt is completed, and I'm sure you guys have some. You will know December 15th if the quilts have been accepted, and then in January they need to be sent out. Here are the judges: Wendy Cho, Cindy Erickson, Megan Fernandez. I feel like I know Wendy Cho and Cindy Erickson. I'm not familiar with Megan Fernandez. Huh, cool. All right. Let's look at the entry guidelines, just loosely look at them. I said that I wanted to enter something this year. There is no way in the world. So many quilts, such little time. No way. But at some point, I'd like to try it just to see what it's like to try to enter a quilt into a show. So you've got categories with specific requirements: group or bees quilts, small quilts, fabric challenges, quilting challenges, youth. Okay, so those are the categories with specific requirements. And then you've got general categories: applique, handwork, improvisation, minimalist design, use of negative space, piecing, and modern traditionalism. They define modern traditionalism as quilt design incorporates the use of an identifiable traditional block pattern and redesigns it, applying elements of modern design such as asymmetry, color, scale, etc. I like that. I like that a lot. A lot, a lot. God, that's good. So now we've got prizes and awards. Winning quilts will receive awards and prizes from our generous sponsors. Ribbons and cash prizes will be given for first, second, and third place in each category. All quilts are eligible for the following overall awards: Best in Show, Quilting Excellence, Best Machine Quilting, Best Machine Quilting Frameless. So you've got framed and frameless, and the People's Choice. Oh, I didn't know that. I like that. I didn't know that there were certain categories that every single quilt is entered in. I like that a lot. I didn't know. The award ceremony will be held on Wednesday, February 16th. Okay, all award winners will be contacted by February 18th about how to receive their awards. General rules. Entry is open to all members of the Modern Quilt Guild in any country. All quilts entered into QuiltCon must meet the following requirements. You have to have a minimum of 3 layers, backing, batting, and a top joined together with stitching. Has to have a finished edge, such as binding or facing. Have a total perimeter of not more than 440 inches with no single side longer than 110 inches. Has to have been made in the last 3 years, 2019, 2020, and 2021. Have not previously been shown at any in-person QuiltCon event, and it have not been awarded a ribbon during QuiltCon together. Okay, I like it. All individuals who worked on the design or construction of the entry, whether paid or not, must be properly credited. I like that. Oh, oh, excluding basting assistants. The number of quilters for each category are limited to 2 or fewer for applique, handwork, improvisation, minimalist design, small quilts, use of negative space, piecing, and modern traditionalism. So I guess that would be like the person who pieced it and then maybe your quilter. 3 or more for group or B, and any number for the fabric challenge, quilting challenge, and youth. Oh, okay, cool. And then they have a bunch more rules, but I think those are the most interesting of the rules. During the online entry process, entrants will be required to submit 2 photos of the quilt being entered, one overall flat front and one detail shot. Really? That's all you need to get in. Boy, those must be the most the most pressure inducing shots ever. Like you've got 2 shots to get this right. Wow. And then you have a release. Oh, there's a fee. The entry fee for the QuiltCon show is $15 per quilt. You may enter as many quilts as you would like. Be aware that a maximum of 5 quilts can be accepted for each member. Wow. Could you imagine entering 5 quilts and 5 get accepted? How cool would you be? That's pretty cool. The entry fee is non-refundable. Accepted quilts will be assessed a shipping fee for return shipping. Fees will be a flat rate, $20 for the first quilt and $10 for each additional quilt for a maximum fee of $60 per maker. Wow. Oh, selling your quilt. You have the option to offer your quilt for sale at QuiltCon. Oh. If you do and it sells at QuiltCon, you cannot retroactively decide not to sell it. You also agree that 15% of the sale price will be donated to the Modern Quilt Guild. Interesting. Huh. Wow. So the call for entries is open from September 1st, 2021 to October 31st, 2021. Notification emails will be sent the week of December 15th. And I know that all quilts have to have a 4-inch sleeve on the back. I remember reading that somewhere. All right. That was interesting. So that was the entry guidelines. Let's see. So here are the challenges that QuiltCon is offering this year. And this is in the beginning of 2022. So when I say this year, it's going to be February 2022. So you've got your Hexagon Quilting Challenge. How will you be inspired to create your quilt? Let's see. Eligible quilts must use a hexagon shape as a primary element in the design. A hexagon is defined as a 6-sided polygon. The total of the internal angles of any simple hexagon is 720. Size restrictions. Follow the same standards as all the QuiltCon quilts. There's no minimum size and there is a maximum size of 440. Total perimeter, no side larger than 110. So I'm immediately thinking Jaybird quilts and Krista Moser. And I'm kind of obsessed with Krista right now. I've been looking at some of her patterns to play with. I really want to play with triangles for whatever reason. They're just in my spirit. So just know that triangles and Krista Moser and probably some Jaybird stuff is coming. And they're both getting ready to do quilt alongs if you guys just want to look them up because they're pretty interesting, both of them. And they are into that hexagon shape if my mind serves me correctly. Like really into it. Matter of fact, Road to California, the last show that I went to, did a whole Krista Moser like exhibit side. And I'm laughing because I think I posted on her Instagram like, hey, like the minute I saw this, I knew this was you. And her response back was, so you're saying all my stuff looks alike? I love people with a sense of humor. She tickles me. Okay, Krista Moser, and then you got Jaybird Quilts. Check them out, especially if you're thinking about doing a hexagon quilting challenge. So then you've got the 2022 Artesian Cotton Fabric Challenge. So I guess you're going to use some Wyndham fabrics here from the color scheme right there. That's kind of cool. I like it. Fabric challenge quilts must use at least 3 of the 4 challenge fabrics. Makers may add Wyndham Artesian cotton neutrals, including and limited to the neutrals. So here's your option of neutrals, and then you've got your challenge fabric colors, and you must use 3 of the 4 colors. I like that. I can't wait to see what people come up with. And those look like your 2 challenges there. Okay, on to temperature quilts, a special exhibit at QuiltCon. If you guys aren't familiar with temperature quilts, you should really check them out. They're pretty cool. So basically, this is my understanding of temperature quilts is every day there's a temperature and you're logging it in your quilt. So you might be just doing straight blocks, you might be doing triangles, and then you assign a fabric to the temperature. So maybe 60 degrees is kind of cool to you. So maybe you're using like a light blue for that. And then, of course, your hot days, which is what we're having in LA right now, which is utterly ridiculous. Like, why is it 90 something degrees in Anaheim right now? I don't know. But those would be, your fire reds. And then you just keep sewing them together every day. And it's kind of cool. And it does not have to be a 2020 or 2021. You can choose any year, any time that you want, which is kind of cool. There's no size requirements, but it can't be any larger than 480 inches. Will they be judged? No, this is just an exhibit. And then you have your, how many can I enter? You can enter as many for consideration, but no member may have more than 2 accepted into this particular exhibit. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be great. I remember the first time I saw a temperature quote, I thought it was so interesting. And depending upon where you live, oh my goodness, can you imagine how different it's going to look from LA to like Alaska, or even LA to New York? Like New York will probably have a wonderful array of colors because they get seasons. We have 75 degrees all the time, or lately 90 all the time. Craziness, right? Temperature quilts, really looking forward to that. Kind of cool. So now we have our community outreach challenge. Um, and it's a charity project. So one of the Modern Quilt Guild's largest scale charity projects is back and better than ever. This year, we're pleased to announce that guilds will have the opportunity to sell their community outreach quilts during QuiltCon to raise funds for Women of Color, Quilters Network, and the Navajo Quilt Project. Our goal is to make it easier than ever for participating groups to fundraise for nonprofit organizations with this challenge. Make sure to check out all the details below. So this year's theme is angles. Oh my goodness. I actually got a chance to see a block that was done by one of the members, or actually I think she's the president of the Portland Modern Quilt Guild, and it is gorgeous. Matter of fact, I wonder if I can find it. Give me a second. I'm going to try to see if I can find that because it's totally worth seeing. She posted a block on Instagram, and I was like, this is amazing. And so let's see if I can find it. This is Kimberly Benefield, and she is from the Portland Modern Quilt Guild. And this was designed by Hunters DS. I don't know exactly who that is. If this block is not the most pristine, sleek, sexy block. And I was like, wait, what? And she was like, oh, this is for our community outreach quilt for the guild, for our, I was like, what? For QuiltCon? She says, check out the actual full design. And I was like, okay, let me show you guys the full design. This is the 2022 Portland Modern Quilt Guild Community Outreach Quilt Challenge. Whatever piece she just sewed goes in here somewhere, and I am obsessed with this. I think it is so sleek, and I like the way the panels come together. I don't know how they're doing this. I don't know if this is paper pieced or what, but I know that I really enjoyed that portion of this quilt, and just to see it come together with the true colors is going to be amazing. I can't wait to stare at this for hours, because yes, that is what I do when I go to quilt shows, is just stand in front of quilts forever. This is beautiful. Let me know what you guys think. So again, the Community Outreach Quilt Challenge, the theme is going to be angles. Angles come in all shapes and sizes with varying degrees. While some are more pointed, you can also find others that almost seem to flatten out. You'll find right angles in most quilts, so the challenge this year is to feature angles that are not 90 degrees in your quilt. Acute or obtuse, let the angles be the focus of the quilt instead of simply the place where blocks meet. Get inspired by a few examples from previous QuiltCon shows. Huh, no 90 degrees. That is interesting. I like this one here. I like that one. I guess I like them all because I am a quilt lover, but very interesting. No 90 degrees. And then here's your palette. Oh, I can't wait to see this palette in person. These are Moda solids. And then you have some more details here. One of the things that I really like is that you can see previous winners of previous years here on this website. So that way you can put yourself in the mind of kind of what has won in the past. What does it look like? What did people accept? This is called Blooming. It was pieced by, I don't think it's Emily Trahan. It's pretty cool. I remember seeing this in person. I know for sure this is Sean Kimber because I know her work. This is cool. I got a chance to see this one in person. Did I see this one in person? Is this 2019? This person is from Manhattan Beach, California. Oh, this is Matt Randall. Oh, it's quilted by Matt Randall. I know who Matt Randall is. Julie Limbach Jones. Okay, go ahead. I didn't know that he had a piece that has won. He's near me. I run into him in the quilt stores like all the time. Something else that has won, this is Best Machine Quilted Framed. This is frameless. Pretty cool. This is also won the Judge's Choice. We saw this one before. And then this one is pieced by Betsy Vingrad. Vingrad. That's pretty cool. Look at those colors. American Patchwork and Quilting Wedge Quilting Challenge. Okay. Ooh, look at this. Oh, it's called crimped. I like it because it looks crimped. Ooh. This one here is applique. Look at this applique. My goodness. Wow. Group or B quilts. This is cool. Social distancing quilt. I like the fence around it. I think that's just genius. Wow, who would have thought to do that? Handwork. Oh my. Another Sean Kimber piece. Here, first place. Look at that. How big is this? This is 66 by 80. That's a good size. That was a lot of work that went into that. Improvisation, the scariest technique for me. I tried to do an improv quilt and it went left. What is this? This is fabric challenge. Okay. Minimalist design. I always like to see the minimalist design because I'd like to know how minimal people will go. How little can what's the story? I enjoy looking at minimalist quilts. I want to throw in every single color, every single element. I want to put in everything. If you guys have ever seen my first quilt, it had every single technique I'd ever seen on YouTube in it because that's who I am. So it would be a true challenge for me to do a minimalist design quilt. I wouldn't even know where to start, and I certainly wouldn't know where to pull back. Modern traditionalism, I like this. I should try to get in on this here. A block that we know and then, flip it, tweak it, which is probably kind of what I do anyway. And then this is piecing. Wow, this is pieced and this is amazing. It's a portrait. This is pieced and this is amazing. You can totally tell a Maria Shell quilt from a distance. Like you already know. Like I saw that and I was like, if it wasn't done by Maria Shell, it was certainly inspired by her. Small quilts, love it. Oh, I like that so much. Ooh, look at the graffiti. Oh, look at this right here, this section. Oh, guys, I cannot wait to go to a good big quilt show. Like I want to go to a big quilt show where I can just, look at this. Oh, use of negative space also falls under the category of minimalist in my opinion. And I like to see these. This is pretty cool. I guarantee you somewhere in this category was a large piece of fabric with like a dot. Oh, the use of negative space. I have no idea how to work negative space, but maybe I will one day. Ooh, the youth section. I like this too. So everybody here, oh no, two of them were 10 and one of them was 11. Look what they did. Good for them. Shout out to the people who are passing this along. Okay, now let's see where we can go. I told you guys, most of this stuff is sold out as far as the classes are concerned. The lectures are still open, and this show is definitely just worth going just to walk around and look at things because there'll be a ton of vendors there, and there will also be just quilts upon quilts to just stare at for hours at a time, which I could do for days on days on days on end. So definitely check it out, but let's look at the catalog. Let's see who was actually here, who was speaking, what they were talking about. Let's see what we would have liked to have taken if we had had the opportunity. And still available for waitlist, so you could possibly still get into some of these, but we'll see. Let's look at the interactive schedule. So the award ceremony happens at 7 o'clock in the evening on February 16th. Then we start Thursday morning with your daily yoga. That seems to still be open. Ooh, interesting. A special exhibits tour for Thursday. That's sold out. So right here where you see the LE and then the -01, that is going to be your lecture. DES is design. Ooh, I think this is QLA. I think that's long arm quilting. I could be wrong. Is there a key up here? I don't see it. I thought there was a key. And then I think this is piecing, and then the other like DES is going to be design. Yeah, all the things. So EQ8, this is something that I was hoping that I could get into. It's sold out. That's okay. I need to learn to use EQ8. I think that would just help to see where I'm going. Although I think that I'm envisioning my colors and where I want to place them in my blocks in my mind, I think EQ8 could really help me with that. Graffiti quilting sold out. Just one word, dimensional applique embroidery. Mini mod quilt sold out. That seems like that could have been really cute. Look at how cute the little mini mod quilts, like they're little. They look like coasters almost. And if you're not a member, this would have cost you $99. If you are a member, $79.20, and this class is taught by David Owen Hastings. I wonder if he's from, let me not start speculating. Mini mods, pleating. That would have probably been kind of interesting. Learning to pleat. I certainly sew them in on accident all the time. Quilt design with origami paper collage. That sounds really cool. Quilting the grid, Joanna Marsh. I've seen her play with this on Instagram, which is really interesting. She's a long arm quilter, and obviously she's a long arm quilter instructor, so you already know that she's off the chain with her long arm quilting, but I believe I've seen her play in the grid and do all kinds of stuff and design stuff. Oh, she's got a Spellbound. She's got a pattern coming that's really interesting for EPP. Woven rings, exploring curvy partial seams. Oh, scary. Scary. That's probably why I need to take that class. Big impact piecing. Oh, that's by Latifa. That's pretty cool. Clam Bake, a ruler quilting design feast. Field of Jeans, that would have been really interesting to see somebody work with jeans. Improv, whole cloth quilt. Ooh. Machine piece double wedding ring. Oh my goodness. The double wedding ring. That's on my bucket list of quilts to make one day. Make It Again. I wonder what that's about. Let's see. What is Make It Again? Sewing through drafts is a great way to get creative ideas flowing and to discover new things. Using Carolyn's long leaf quilt pattern, you will explore how sewing the same shapes multiple times in different fabrics and colors can lead to surprising results and new ideas. I can see that. Woo, that class is, oh, that class is more expensive. My goodness. I wonder if it's how long is the class? Oh, it's like all day. 9 to 4. It's an all day class. That's a biggie. That is a commitment. That would have been a commitment, but that's completely sold out. Portraiture in FPP. Ooh, Angela Bowman. Look at that. I should have taken that. I should have bitten the bullet and taken that because I think at some point I'm going to want to design my own foundation paper piece patterns. And I think this would have been a great place to start. Shiseko, which I love. I love to see it. Core and Essence, it's sold out. Indigenous Quilters special exhibit. Okay, so now we're into some lectures, redefining perfect, quilts on the runway. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Beginning Procreate quilt design. I'd like to see that too. I'd like, which is kind of like EQ8, but instead you would be using Procreate, and that will show you some techniques on how to design your quilt online before you ever even cut anything. Fussy cutting for EPP. Ghost shapes, matchstick quilting. I like matchstick quilting. That's those super tiny lines that are close together. I wonder how she does that. Probably should have looked at that. Cool. Mini mods again, patchwork, shasiko, quilt photography from every angle. I think I'm on the wait list for that. Something that I definitely struggle with is photography. I feel like I make some of those interesting quilts, but they're not always captured beautifully. And I think this might have given me some help that I need. Modern art lecture, meet antique quilts, wellness for quilters. Yes, because you guys know if my mother was not bringing me food, I would not stop to eat. I do not stop to use the restroom. I quilt hard. I quilt like a crazy little banshee. And once I go, I just go. So I'm sure wellness for quilters is something that I should be listening to. Panel discussion, valuing our work. Ooh, that sounds intense. Unconventional and unexpected, an interview with Roderick Kirakofi. And that's Mary Fons that I guess she'll be doing the interview. All about binding. Binding has been a hot topic in the quilt world lately, especially on the Facebook, in the Facebook groups. But you guys have seen how I bind, and I'm really pleased with it. So I will just stick to my method for now. Another beginning Procreate class, Craftivism. What is that? Crafting for Impact. Oh my. Shannon Downey. Drafting abstract geometric quilts. Feathers and vines. Oh, people love to do feathers and vines in their quilting. Fussy cutting for EPP, graffiti quilting. I bet that's pretty cool. How to make a quilting plan. Ooh, that just sounds like fun to just sit in on. Just one word, dimensional applique embroidery. I would have liked to have seen that class. Log cabin circles. What is a log cabin circle? Oh, there we go. Totally get it. Maria Shell. Cool. Let's see here. What else? Quilted compositions, piecing with templates. Okay. Woven rugs, improv quilts. All about using fabrics in EQ. That could have been interesting. Free motion fillers, giant nested curves, grid work, playing with partial seams, quilting with gradients. Ooh, that could have been fun. You guys know I love an ombre, and this is taught by Melissa De Leon Mason. Ah, that would have been a good one. Again, see, some of them are sold out. Some of them you can get waitlisted. This is tied, tufted, and tacked. People have been asking about tied quilts a lot on the Facebook groups. I've been seeing woven embroidery, accents, and needle turn applique. Carolyn Freelander. Oh my goodness. That needle turn applique, she swears it doesn't take forever to do, but I don't know. It just seems like it would. Bits and Pieces, Improv, Maria Shell, Brimfield Meadows, Kickstart Your Quilt Coat. Ooh, quilt coats are all the rage right now. I wish I could have gotten in to see that. Now I have no desire whatsoever to sew that in a class, but I wish it was a lecture. I would have loved to have just talked about it, heard somebody talk about the construction of making a quilted coat and probably some of the design aspects and elements. Modern abstract quilts, other side, making friends with half rectangle triangles. I'm actually doing my first half rectangle triangles on a quilt that I'm starting tomorrow. That should be interesting. That's taught by Latifa. Power curves. Ooh, that's the serpentine ruler designs. More Shiseko. Beyond color. Creating dramatic quilts. Yes, please. You guys can rest assured that I'll be trying to get to that lecture for sure. Letting go of control through fabric design. Oh my, interesting. Teach It, the legacy of quilting. Hand accented. Now that might be really interesting. What's that about? Ooh, look at all the accents there. Combine hand and machine quilting to achieve the distinctive design and texture of handwork in a fraction of the time. In this class, you will start with the hand running stitch on a fabric panel that has been machine quilted. Then you will go a step further by exploring embroidery stitches that are conducive to quilting. A variety of thread colors and weights will be incorporated into your project. I like this. Hate I didn't get a chance to take this. It's pretty cool. This looks really cool. And just because they are sold out and you can't get them now does not mean that your guild can't have some of these instructors come and talk to you guys on a more intimate basis. You know, let your guild members know that these might be some of the people that you're interested in, and they might be able to have them come and do special presentations at your guild like they do mine. Quilt photography for we talked about that. Ruler work, tie, tufted text, sewing, strategies for sewing complex designs. That could be interesting. Linear notes and liner notes and labels documenting your work. Oh, I could do a full couple of hours on talking about that. You guys know I'm very, very passionate about labeling your work. Very passionate about that. Appropriation or appreciation. Oh, that sounds heavy. Craftivism, again, sounds heavy. Um, that's that crafting social change. Alternate grids for free motion quilting. Okay. Choose your EPP adventure. It's so funny. I was like, oh, that would be a great class for Joanna to teach. And sure enough, she's doing it. Creating color palettes. That might have been fun. Drafting abstract geometric quilts. That sounds like fun. Elevating patchwork with hand embroidery. FPP bootcamp. Free motion fillers. Learn to design pixel quilt blocks. I'm thinking about doing a quilt a pixel block quilt. I've done some pixel blocks in the past, but there's one that is very, very, very pixelated, and I'm thinking about trying it. We'll see. Modern strip piecing, pleating, quilting between the lines, scrappy quilt as you go. People love to do that technique. I bet that's an interesting one. Snowflake, embroidered gingham star, zipping through a quilted pouch, and then let's see on Saturday. Wow, this is jam-packed with options. There is so much that you can do if you get in early enough. So then we have activists, we have more graffiti quilting, special exhibits, hand accented, again, sold out. Intermediate Procreate. I like that they have the beginning Procreate on a different day, and then intermediate if you feel like you really conquered the concepts and you want to try to press on and try to pick up some more tips and tricks, you can do the beginning one and then you can do the intermediate one, and they're not at the same time. I like that. And they go in order, beginning and then intermediate. Modern textures, quilting the grid, quilting with gradients, Anastasia patchwork bag. What else? Exploring the value in the hourglass quilt. Improv hand quilting, kickstart your quilt coat, mastering foundation paper piecing, quilting. Oh my, mastering it. Mastering precision curves. Oh, I hate to sew curves so much. Just finished a quilt with a bunch of curves. You guys are going to see it in 2 weeks, guys. Just hang on. 2 weeks, you guys will get a quilt tutorial from me. Ooh, swoopies. Building community through quilts, finding my creative identity, standing taller as a quilter. That should be interesting. That's a lecture. I might try to be sure to catch that. Activist quilting, ghost shapes, modern textures, quilt your life, plan for success. I need to check into that and see what that's about. Quilt your life, plan for success. Oh, it's about literally planning your quilt. Creating milestone quilts, beginning with the quilt she created for her 3rd child to mark his 1st year of life. Interesting. I am definitely interested in like all of the design. I find myself leaning toward all of the design types of classes and then these lectures. Quilting strategy, the 5 quilting skills of free motion quilting, intro to Islamic geometry for quilters. That could be interesting. 100 days of creative bliss. You already know that's Sarah Ruiz. Quilts in the art world. Sold quilts in the art world. Activist quilting, elevating patchwork with hand embroidery. More EQ8 for beginners, feathers and flourishes. Free motion quilting fluidity. That might be interesting to watch people do. Going in circles, intermediate Procreate quilt design, irregular FPP shapes, learn to design pixel quilt blocks, log cabin circles, piecing with templates. Okay, so a lot of these are just repeats from a previous day if you weren't able to get the slot that you wanted. You have more options. Take on FPP with the New York Beauty. Ooh, my goodness, that's just, that New York Beauty is a beast. Kind of like the double wedding ring. Also on my list of quilts to do. A woven embroidery sampler. So on Sunday, the last day, we've got more yoga, we've got special tours, we've got activist quilting, creating color palettes, exploring curves, feathers and flourishes, boot camp, grid work reimagined, handwork revisited, happy meal, illustrator for quilt design. Quilt design with origami paper, quilt your life plan for success, quilted compositions. That sounds interesting, and that looks like it's still open. Again, another one of the design ones. When you want the quilting in your negative space to be varied and interesting, where do you start? Interesting. Scrappy quilt as you go, snowflake, embroidered gingham star, stepping into improv, zipping through a quilted pouch, trusting your color instincts. Oh, good. This is a lecture. Can't wait to hear it. Adventures in quilt math. No, thank you. Just kidding. It could be really, really, really good. A new era of modern quilting and then spark your creative mojo. Okay, I know that was a lot and I didn't go through every single one because, again, that was a lot. But as you can see, there are a ton of different workshops and lectures, and I think it's really interesting to see what I'm drawn to, the types of classes that I would have liked to have taken. But again, your girl does not sew in public. She does not pack up sewing machines. She does not bring rulers and things. It's just too much for me personally at this point in time in my quilting career. That might change at some point, but right now, I think I'll just stick with lectures and hanging out with everybody and running my mouth and looking at vendors and buying up all the notions. You guys know how I do. If you guys made it to the end of this video, go you, because I'm looking at the clock and it's just about an hour long, which is what I kind of thought it was going to be because I get so excited when I start talking about quilt shows. So what did we learn? Mac is not going to the Houston Quilt Show this year. We'll try to catch it next year. It just, I don't know, something just doesn't quite feel right about going this year for me. Definitely trying to make QuiltCon in February. Looking forward to Road to California in January. And yeah, if you've never heard of QuiltCon, it's the Modern Quilt Guild that puts it on. And the quilts are modern. They're different. They're sleek. They're funky. They feel a little more youthful. They don't feel so traditional. They feel like, you know, a now kind of quilting movement. So if you guys would like to see more, I suggest you guys go and hang out on their website just like I did. And I will catch you guys on the next one next week. Next week should be fun. I've got a little something planned for us. We're going on a field trip. All right, guys, until then, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.